guess it's a good day to do a little spirit talk while I had this little cup of Joe and get myself situated to do a little work around the homestead. Before we get into me yapping today, I'll show you a clip from last year when I was building that chicken tractor right there. Bro, this is actually like one of my favorite things to do when it comes to building my homestead is literally, having a rough draft in my mind and just letting the shit flow. It's not like it's anything that's in dire need to happen. It's literally just letting your creativity flow and adding on to your little homestead. I grew up around dudes that build, and of course I do stone masonry, so I build like patios, walkways, and retaining walls, so I have the foundational stuff down. I never did carpentry. I see my uncles do it, always watched, and I'm a very visual person, so if I see somebody do something a number of times, I can easily mimic it. But yeah, when it comes to this stuff, it's just fun. It's a good way to quiet your mind, let your creativity expand. I honestly feel like that's what we here for. And nowadays, we just so caught up in consuming shit instead of creating. So in a nutshell, you shut your ass up. But it really depends on, the job that you're doing. Like this chicken coop right here, I'm not sure if some of y'all remember, I drew that, a rough draft of it, nothing too serious. But this one right here, the newer one right there, I literally just came out and started winging it. That has a lot of different angles to it, so I feel like in my mind it would have been more annoying to come down here and map everything out instead of just getting my tools and going along step by step and doing what I need to do to fix it or build it. But when you start to get to like major things about like where you want your fence line, how you're going to put up your barns for your animals, where you're going to put your house, which is the main one that I have. My house is going to be basically where that trough is right there. You can't really see it because of the weeds and fence, but it's a trough right there. That's got to get picked up and brought basically where that tree is, kind of just to give me a roundabout, because when you start breaking ground, you start, building, obviously things can change very easy. But as far as my house, it's probably been 3 years so far since I've been, from the inside out, just thinking of things I want to do. To me, I feel like that's a major thing. In this society, like they push us to go make these major purchases and buy all these things. But how my mind works, I think I could build that bitch. And with me being in the construction business, I know the things I need are overpriced at a time where we're about to start going through little trade wars, and the outcome of that trade war could be positive instead of what people think is being negative. So in my mind, I had plenty of work to do around here while this little trade war and all this other shenanigans is going on. So I can weigh my options. I can bite the bullet, go to the bank, pull a loan, and spend the rest of my life working. Or I can work my land, wait to see what happened with the trade war, go buy the shit out of pocket, and build the bitch myself, while truly being at peace and truly tasting happiness. Well, I sit back and weigh my options. You can work the land and wait to see what happens with the economy and all the supplies in the chain. Or you can go to the bank and pull a $300,000 loan and work for the rest of your life until you go bald or the stress causes you to grow a cancerous tumor on your nuts. Me personally, I'd rather be at peace and try to heal my body instead of self-destruct. But hey, to each his own. So in a nutshell, you can buy into the ways of the world or buy into the ways of nature. I want to be in nature. Hellcats and Scat Packs and Bentleys and all these things are cool, but it's not cool enough to me or admirable enough to me for me to go sign a contract and work for that shit until I'm 70. I'm not okay with that. Now, with that being said, if my investments work out, and a few things I'm invested in, I'm damn sure not no financial advisor, so this is not financial advice, but it might be smart to go get some XRP, some XLM, some XDC, some HBAR, and just put them in your little wallet for a while and see how this shit work out, because a lot of y'all don't like Donald Trump and all these other motherfuckers, but they telling y'all to play, so you might want to get in on the pie while you can. Now, if those things work out and I have the ability to go to a lot and pay some shit off in cash where I no longer have to work to obtain that shit, then that's completely different. Now, if those investments work out, don't be surprised you see me galloping around this bitch on a $70,000 quarter horse. But if it don't, I'll be galloping around these bitch on these shit kickers. I ain't lying. The first part of my homesteading was about 1/10 of an acre, just seeing what I could do with it. Now, we got some acres to do some real shit. Before I started my last one, I had a lot of junk to clean up before I can even get started on building. Right here, we have a clean canvas. Well, besides all this brush I need to burn, I can do whatever my little heart desires. So in a nutshell, you know, all of this really is for my lineage, what comes after me. So I have a nice little amount of time to get everything around me situated. If it takes a little money, that's okay. When it comes like getting married and all that stuff, I'm gonna try to make it where, you know, my wife sees this and she's like, oh my God, we can just get married here. Because honestly, that's what I would like to do. This hill right here where you can go up there, it's flat and you can see the whole farm. So I got time, you know, I can make my case and make this nice, splendiferous looking little area over out here. And when she goes up there, she just falls in love and say, yeah, let's do it here. Or, you know, she might say, hell no, and we had to go somewhere else. But, you know, time will tell. But I think I can do a pretty good job on, you know, bringing a woman out here and making her be like, oh my God, this is perfect. But we shall see, man. You never know what the future holds, but I'm done yapping. I gotta get some shit done. Y'all be easy.